arrival of the Honorable Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, we extend a hearty welcome to the Honorable Governor to the commemoration of Jambu Theevu Proclamation and felicitation of researchers for the special research projects on unsung national freedom from Tamil Nadu. மாண்புமிகு ஆளுநர் அவர்களை ஜம்பு தீவு பிரகடன நினைவு நாள் மற்றும் தமிழ்நாட்டின் அறியப்படாத தேசிய சுதந்திர போராட்ட வீரர்களை குறித்து சிறப்பு ஆய்வு செய்த மாணவர்களின் பாராட்டு விழாவிற்கு இரு கரங்கள் கூப்பி வருக வருக என்று வரவேற்கின்றோம். We now request the respected Secretary to the Honorable Governor to deliver the welcome address.
அனைவருக்கும் இனிய காலை வணக்கங்கள். It is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Governor, whose initiative has led us to commemorate the Jambu Theevu Proclamation Day today. I extend my hearty welcome to our guest speakers, Dr.D.K.Hari, HemaHari. I take this opportunity to welcome the dignitaries from various walks of life who have joined us today.
I am Divya S., PhD scholar from the Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, was part of this prestigious research project on title Unsung Heroes of National Freedom Movement from Tamil Nadu, which was initiated by our Honorable Governor Chancellor with the noble intention to unearth and document the life of unsung freedom fighters. So at this juncture, I would like to quote a couplet from Tirukkural, Adhigaram Meyyunardal, which is truth or consciousness, couplet number 352. Irul neengi inbam payakum marul neengi maasaru kaatchi yavarku, which means darkness disappears and bliss descends upon men of clear vision, free from delusion. That is, மயக்கம் தெளிந்து மாசற்ற உண்மையை உணர்ந்தால் அறியாமை அகன்று நலம் தோன்றும். Similarly, the special project has unveiled the real warriors of freedom movement from the state of Tamil Nadu.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now welcome Dr.D.K.Hari and Dr.D.K.HemaHari, founders of BharathGyan, who will do a multimedia presentation on the Jambu Theevu Proclamation.
Welcome to all. We'd like to thank Honorable Governor for giving this opportunity to make a brief presentation on the subject of the day. It's a wonderful subject. I think we all need to gratefully acknowledge and thank Honorable Governor for conceiving this idea, bringing it up, and then celebrating our man. It's a beautiful, because we all hear this is film on Mangal Pandey, their stories, all great noble people of this land, all great sons of Bharat Mata. But here, we also have such wonderful children of Tamil Thai, of Bharat Mata, that we need to venerate, celebrate, honor, respect all aspects of this. Thank you so much, Honorable Governor, for this great event. Absolutely. As he said, some students, goosebump raising, hair raising. Truly. Thank you so much. So, this honor day of 16 June 1801, when we had the Jambu Theevu Pragadanam, we'll see some key aspects in brief. Obviously, all of us have a copy of the program, which is wonderful for all to print and share with all of us, because we carry it forward in our lives and have it beautifully. If you look at this idea of the Palayakar resistance, the battles, the wars, which in English language has been said as Polygar war. Because when you read it in English, Polygar, to link it to the Palayakarar, it's a big gap. Not just in language, that in thought too, but it's not limited to one. If you see, we just showed you a few here. Actually, it goes before and after this two all the way, centuries. So it's a continuous uprising battle to keep the resistance up and to say, this is our land. And the illustrious Velu Nachiyar and the Veerapandi Kantapamman, all of them are part of this illustrious lineage of our forefathers, is what you should recognize. And it is a continuous struggle, it's not a flash in the pan or individual or separate. It's a continuous struggle across the land and across the decades is what we see here. And we have seen about this Jambu Theevu Pragadanam. It's a so bringing about everybody together is the confederacy idea, which was there existed. It was there in the Maratha confederacy. It was there in the Palayakar confederacy also. All over the land, the confederacies has been a concept that we have had in this land through the ages. That's important. And this is the English translation. Now look at this. All of us know about the Malaikotai. It was not on the Malaikotai, but the fort gate below where this was pasted. Similarly, in the old Gopuram of the Srirangam temple where this was posted. And look at the word Palayam. Dry, sandy, flat land. It's also area of cantonment, barracks. It's an army war camp sort of area where it's a village surrounded by hills. Whenever the Honorable Governor goes to Ooty, you'll see we cross Mettupalayam. That's also Palayam. So like that, the idea of Palayam is there. So if you see, all these Palaykars, the beauty is they fought a Dharmic battle. This is recorded by H.H. Wilson. He says the Hindu laws or war are very chivalrous and humane. Prohibit the slaying of unarmed or women or the old of the conquered. So we fought a humane battle. And this was there not only among the Palaykars, but you look at Megasthenes, who writes about this in 325 BCE. How battles were fought in all over Bharat, right from Afghanistan, Punjab to Burma to the Palaykars of South, Sivagangai. They did not harm the village folks. They did not harm the husbandmen, as they said here, because they were regarded as noble, looking after the civilization. The battle was only between the warriors and warriors, whereas it was called a Dharmic way of fighting, Dharmic battle, which is now spoken about in Geneva Convention, etc. But we are doing it millennia ago, whereas the other sort of battle was the Kuta Yuddha, about which is different day. So the idea of the Palayaka, the rulers, and look at how the British got the word corrupted to polygar.
So it was very natural for these people, brave people like Marudhu brothers and the likes before him, after him, to rise up when our civilization was faced with conquests and problematic moments.
They rose to the occasion every time the need was there. There is a beauty of repeated rising to the occasion was there. And you got Palaykars through the times who have all done well for the civilization. And one of them is the Singampatti Jameen, who also, instantly we had the good fortune of him coming. We met him, he spoke about one of our books, all those things. We had a person, of course he is no more, he is now Swargiya. But about 2 decades ago we had the opportunity of interacting on this very subject. We did not know that we were going to speak about this 2 decades later here, in this August hall. And see, our Pasupan Muthrangan also belongs to the same lineage. And those two have met. He spoke about those incidences. How the idea was there through the ages and it's come down to us today. And they are venerated as divine people, noble people, Dharmic people across the land in these 2 places, Sirvayal and Piranmalai. Where are they geographically? They are all close to Karaikudi, that area. So you know geographically where they are, because we speak about it without knowing. And look at the amount of effort the British put in, number of officers to subdue, because it was not enough with one group of officers. They need a range of officers. That means the amount of resistance is to be recognized here, because they just couldn't overcome these people. It shows the number of campaigns, because it was a continuous thing. And not only that, they gave so many chakrams, 1,500 chakrams was the booty on the head. Either to be brought dead or even half dead or alive. So look at the amount of desperation British had, because it was a solid, continuous resistance. And finally, it was only the money and treachery. Unfortunately, that because they wanted to save the temple, Kalayarkoi temple. Look at the beauty, the grandness of the temple. That's why they gave themselves up. Otherwise, there was no need for them to give themselves up. That is what it was. And when they did this, the board is there behind them in the temple for all of us to go see when we visit there. It's a military recorded history available in archives, as our friends have seen, plus also in this temple. Look at the grandness of these temples there. Just why they want to save. They gave up their lives to save the temples. That is the beauty of our forefathers. Look at the grandness of the temple there, for which they gave themselves up. And this is where the Kalayarkoi is. South of Karaikudi, east of Madurai. That's a place where it is. So these all Unmiyana Punya Bhumi. See, Nama Bharatla Punya Bhumi. This is Punya Bhumi. It's an example of it. And they were executed ruthlessly. But the point is, their son was sent to the penal settlement in Penang, which we happened to visit about a decade ago. We happened to visit this place, the penal settlement Penang, where we see. So the idea of penal settlements was very British. They not only had a penal settlement here, So see, that place was infested with malaria. So the moment you go to penal settlement, you're fairly sure to get a disease and die. You're not going to come back. And this had this concept of penal settlements. They had in Burma, Mandalay, Penang, Andaman. Australia was the penal settlement for the British Islands. So this idea of sending people away to penal settlements for life to death was a very strong idea they had taken through the ages. And if you see this idea of Jambu Dweepam, look at this. We have this idea going back millennia. And, or the idea of Tonmodati from Manimegalai, Silapadigaram, where you speak about Devi Champapati. Jambu Dweepa Kaval Devam. The guardian deity of not just Tamilagam, of Jambu Dweepam. Look at the idea. So the thought process was so old. The idea of Jambu Dweepam goes back millennia, not just in 1801. And it goes 3,000, 4,000 years continuously through the ages. That's the beauty of this land. All the way to 1801. Look at this. We have the idea of Tamil Nadu. Beyond that, we have the idea of Bharatam. Beyond that, we have the geographic idea of Bharata Varsham, which includes Pakistan, Burma, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka. That's where the Varsha, the rain of this monsoon happens over Bharata Varsham. The subcontinent, geographical area. Then beyond that, what is it? Bharata Khanda, the continent of Bharat. In the west, it is Rumi, the poet Rumi, Turkey. From there, all the way up to Suvarnabhumi, Indonesia, is Bharata Khanda, which is what we say in the Tamil Thai Varthu, the idea of Bharata Khanda. We have that. So, the idea is so traditional. Beyond that, we have the idea of Jambu Dweepam. That is Eurasia, Europe and Asia put together. So, but doesn't include the British Islands. So when they say, I want to send you back, why did they come up with the term Jambu Theevu Pragadanam? Because you are not a citizen of Jambu Dweepam, so go back to your little island, England. So that was the concept. So send you back beyond Jambu Dweepam. So they chose the term well. So they send you back to your place. So this concept, the understanding of the geography of the earth, Bhugolam as we call Bhulok, existed through the ages with the Tamils. That's the greatness of the understanding that we had. So it's amazing knowledge we have had of Bhuloka and Bhugola. This is there in all the declaration is there. In English also, the translation available in the archives. And as I said, first War of Independence so beautifully brought forth today by Honorable Governor's guidance for all of us to view. Amazing arrangements are today, really, from backdrop to these two, really. So what happened was, this idea was all over the land. You had the Paika resolution, similarly in Odisha, to everywhere you had. But the key word
point is we all celebrate 1857 today as the first war of independence. But even prior to 1857, there have been many appraisings, with these Palayakarar appraisings being some of the early ones that we have documents for and which we at least remember and talk about. But there have been many more. And look at these interesting ones. I mean, we have so many of them which we rarely talk about, and efforts like this from every state will...
all across the land, but sadly disjointed is a key word.
You find something very similar, like when you talk about Palayakarars, and these have been warriors. When he said Palayam, Palayam is a natural land. Earlier wars used to be fought in these kind of outskirts of villages which are flat, desert-like lands where you cannot grow crops. They were reserved for wars. So you found the soldiers naturally living there, having their camps there, and they would rise up to the occasion. See, even in Odisha you have something, Paika community who's had, and they were also warriors who rose up to the occasion. So the land is full of such kind of
bravery stories.
Bravery stories, and if you look at it, the whole thing, there are some major highlights to take from this today. One, the story of Marudu themselves, how brave they were, what all they have sacrificed, what all they went through. The other thing is about the Palayakarar as a community, I mean as the group of people, not just in Tamil Nadu alone, but overall in Bharatavarsha, people who rose up to this kind of occasion. And the idea of this Jambu Theevu. See, the major point and Pragadanam, as you see it, it comes from the word Prakasham. Prakasham means to throw to light. So the Marudu brothers with their Jambu Theevu Pragadanam, they were doing two things. One, bringing to light that people have to unite. Because if you really look at it, I'm sure many of the students who have written these 89 books would, when they research, they would have found lot of conflicting informations in the individual stories. You take even individual Palayakaras, you will find conflicts. You take individual Samasthanams of Tamilagam, you will find conflicts between Tanjavur and Madurai, and each of the different Raja Samasthanams, they were all having conflicts and wars. What was it? To some extent earlier, it was just fundamentally trade driven. But when you have the sultanates and the colonizers coming in, you find these increasing because the divisive policies and the alignments cause those kind of conflicting information. So it is very important. She said the Tirukural, that Jnanam, that only you have to see that larger picture. And that is what the Marudhu brothers did. They saw that larger picture, that it is not the British in one case, the Dutch in one case, or the French in one case, but Europeans at a large who had come to colonize India, and therefore they came up with not just a proclamation for Tamilagam, but for entire Jambu Dweepam and for the entire Europeans. They didn't say Angilayar, they said European, Irupiyargal. And so that is the turning point where they say, let us, so that is the Pragadanam, that they're throwing light on this, and it is for this Jambu Theevu, if you look at it.
What is Jambu? It's a question that all of us think of, ask. Look at it, it's a tree of eternity. The tree, because it's like a totem of this whole land. In America, the Native Americans had the idea of totem. We also had the concept of totem. So because it's the insignia of the land, because it symbolizes what you call as Nirandaram. So that idea we had, eternity, infinity. So that is what it says.
And Marudhu brothers stood and they, through light, they woke people up for uniting so that together they can have enough strength to throw the yoke of oppression. And if you really look at it, go back and look at each of those individual stories. How was the Shivaganga Seemai, the Samasthanam formed? It was actually triggered by one of the jnanis. When the person is roaming around in the forest, it is a jnani who motivates him, tells him, go fight for your place, go seek the help of so and so, and he guides him. So all the brave hearts have been actually led by people, even commoners. They got together because there were a lot of pandarams and poets and fakirs, mendicants who were roaming around in the streets singing patriotic songs.
We have to give due credit to all the pavalars, navalars, jnaniyars, munivar, mantri, panditar, pandarams, because they were the backbone behind which this was, the whole resistance was fought. Because we see the names of the brave men, but we don't see the behind them. It is all these people of jnanam who encourage them to be brave. So due recognition should be given to these people who are the backbone of the civilization land. In this case of the Marudhu brothers and Sivaganga, it was
Satappa Jnaniyar, for whom there is a small monument. So when we have to now start making it a point to visit these places, visit places like Kalayar Kovil, visit the monument of Satappa Jnaniyar, reconnect all these dots and remember and recollect and get motivated ourselves for the future.
So that's what we do. So this is the level we get the dare and confidence about our civilization. Once again, for giving this wonderful opportunity, we'd like to thank Honorable Governor for giving us to stage. Thank you so much. Namaskaram to all. Let's be proud of our land, of our Tamil Thai and Bharat Mata. Namaskaram. Vanakkam.
We thank Dr.D.K.Hari and Dr.D.K.HemaHari, founders of BharathGyan, for the wonderful, insightful presentation on the Jambu Theevu Proclamation. A good round of applause.
Most respected, most revered, heroes of the national freedom movement, those who are present here, we are fortunate to have you all with us. Your presence has sanctified this auspicious occasion. We are grateful to you. D.K.Hari, HemaHari, who has made the presentation here. Our research scholars whose work we have displayed today and made it available for all. They are wonderful, competent mentors. All the distinguished guests present here.
The Honorable Governor will now felicitate Dr. D.K.Hari and Dr. HemaHari.